Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, stuff installed. So when I get started on the wings, so we have to something new in the wings. We are getting the UniConnect installed. We have night flying lights. We're going to use the ones from the Interceptor because Interceptor night flying is something that is not really going to happen. So gotten some night flying lights for the Squall from the Interceptor mainly, so we'll be using those. So these are the brightest ones, so we will be using these up top for on the wing, and then some of the Interceptor on the bottom and in the rudder. So that's the plan currently, and we've got some more goodies. We've gotten some afterburner lights, so these are the brand new LED afterburner lights. So these are absolutely amazing. So first of all, for anything, I laminated this in carbon. This is a new one. So it used to be 2 times the normal wood. That's used also on the X130 everywhere. But this is the harder wood, and we laminated it with carbon, so it's extra strong. So this is the blue afterburner light. So the see-through one currently is the blue one. The other one is the orange one. And this is gonna make sure you really get that purple flame, and that's gonna be amazing. So door, well, have to make a new one, but other than that, we've gotten our afterburner controller, we've gotten obviously our lights here, we've gotten 2 10mm tiny lights for the landing gear. Absolutely awesome. Then we've gotten a red one, just as we've gotten up top, just for down below. So let's get going. So I think we're going to take this thing apart. We're going to mask everything off because this has to be vacuumed out. The back end was prepped and everything nicely. We can leave that, but this front end here has to be repainted, and we have to get some boards done up because I still have to laminate those today with carbon so that they look beautiful tomorrow in the morning, tomorrow when I come back from school. So yeah, plan is get the back end, everything basically done today. Will be a long night. Then tomorrow have the front stuff. So I know the layout and everything. So the hardest thing will probably be installing these night flying lights. So let's get going. So guys, fuselage is painted inside and drying upstairs. So now we're going on to wings. So first step to do in the wings is this stuff, and then servos, which is obviously not that hard. So yeah, I'm currently just thinking about positioning for this because I obviously wanted to light up the entire fuse, and we've gotten our nav light right there, which will be on during the night so we know the ends. So I'm thinking something like this, parallel with the flying winds. Obviously we don't want it like this because otherwise this would affect the aerodynamics, because at the end of the day this is quite a bit of a surface area, and yeah, we have these to change the deflection a little. So let's just keep that in mind, and yeah, probably gonna end up somewhere here, probably I think parallel with this line. Just going to get it down there. So there are these pieces that actually insert in there. I'm trying finding the box for the Interceptor, which is right here. Obviously we've gotten the Pioneer on here. We're using a Cortex, so I'll be using the Pioneer in an Avanti in the future, because with these planes, this is our way. I don't really need a power box in a plane like this, in my opinion. So that's just my logic behind that. Obviously, we've gotten a bunch of wiring we could salvage out of here. As you can see, we've gotten the Unilight connectors and everything. So yeah, I'm just currently trying to find. There they are. So this is what they look like right here. So these go in there, permanently glued in there, and then these just screw on top of that. I know that seems like not a lot, it also isn't that much, but that's basically what we got. So gotta get this nicely mounted in here, and yeah, let's get to doing that. So these are those pieces. Honestly, I don't know if there's a resistor on these or not. Here's a new one. So very nice. No, there's no resistor on there. So yeah, as you can see. So what I do is I solder them together in here, and that's basically that. So let's get going. So guys, I got one perfect hole done. That took the longest. Now the rest of them will be easier because we know what we're going for. So here you can see hole, it's perfect, it just fits, and this is just what we wanted it to be next to a rib. So the easiest one to find was honestly this one going through, because I knew there was one. So I took a 90-degree angle ruler, put it against here, found the angle, because obviously this is not 100% 90 degrees. Then I put down a tape line. From there out, I put a piece of tape here. And now I know this is one tape deep, one tape deep, and right next to the rib. And that from there on, I took just a normal pen, drew that on, and then did the rough stuff with the Dremel. But now that I know where we have to go, I'm gonna just take a finer Dremel from the beginning and go more on the perimeter, and then do the last bit sanding or filing. So as soon as we're going to glue that stuff in, we will go ahead, put some lubricant on the bottom of this piece and just stick it in like that. So yeah, because obviously this piece right there is removable. So as you can see, now we're fairly parallel. So let's get this done 3 more times, and plus the rudder twice as soon as we got that out of the paint. So let's get going. So guys, got 4 perfect holes, both wings. So this carbon is real tough to get through, but got 4 perfect holes where our arms fits in perfectly. So I think first thing I'll do obviously is I'll get these soldered up. So I'll probably make one end, probably do something like getting one end pulled through or something like that, like here, and then solder onto here. But as you can see, I made sure that these managed to just pop in like so. And I have no idea what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to put a lot of lubricant on here before I go ahead and put these on, so on this side. And then I think what I'm going to do is just take a bunch of epoxy, honestly, and smear it around here. I'm obviously going to tape all of this off. Smear it around there, and just very thick epoxy, and just set it in. Obviously lay sand all of this around and hope for the best. So yeah, let's get going. So guys, here we are, everything painted inside. So just a bit of clarity. The reason why I want to do the boards as soon as possible is because after 10 I can't be very loud anymore, because you'll get noise complaints in Vienna. And I have to use the machines because I'm obviously cutting plywood. So yeah, I'm gonna lay everything out slowly. Paint is alright dry. So yeah, I just have to make a layout, and then I'm gonna start cutting some cardboard templates here and there for how everything is gonna look. So these here, I'm gonna batch glue those probably. So what I'll do is I'll glue all of that as soon as I got everything here in, because as soon as I've gotten that, then I'm gonna glue the surfaces in here and that stuff, and then I'm gonna leave the wings alone for like about at least half an hour to an hour, because I'm gonna do the rest of the internals. The next time I'm gonna be touching the wings will be as soon as we get our connectors soldered up. So yeah, let's get some cardboard templates made up of the boards. So guys, I've got quite a bit of a plan now. So this plate here, what it does is it sits up in here basically, and then we're one big plate sitting on here. So this plate is kind of startup plate, so our fill port for our tank, got our 2 batteries facing forward. So I mean, I have to leave a bit of space. This is up front here. This mark is where the servo passes through of the front wheel. This is for the servo of the gear door, and then we'll have a velcro piece and a velcro strap, and the connectors will be somewhat like this, right on the side, so we've gotten a nice clean path everywhere. And then we'll have with snakeskin fuel tubing and stuff going into the sides. Everything will be nice, and there will be countersunk screws. Sorry guys, sorry. There will be countersunk screws going in from here, holding the tray. So I think I'll use 4, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. So everything looks nice. And the main board is just a little complicated, but of course we've gotten this here, gotten our receiver, we've gotten our Unilight controllers here, and we've gotten our Cortex. So we'll have all of these wires. Obviously they'll be nicely zip tied and everything, but they'll all come from here and go in here. I think we'll have like a wire holder here, and these will just and plug in over here. So we'll have that all nicely organized, and then we have our JP controller back here with 2 little grommets like that. That will be screwed in. Obviously Cortex will be done with double-sided tape as for my receiver right there. And yeah, other Unilight controller right here next to that. So very easy. Then another thing we'll have is a tank mount. We still have to get this cut properly, but this will be the holder in the back for the tray. So obviously this goes in like that, and this usually is flush here. We'll cut it in a way that can tuck in like about here. The rest will be totally epoxied. Then we'll have a screw right here where the Cortex is, and in the front just so, because it's a little bit of a bigger board, to make sure everything's nicely secure down. So yeah, we'll get that laminate to that end, but what I'll do now is I'll get going with dremeling out these holes right here, these for the night flying lights. We'll get those done now, and as soon as those are done, we're going to get the servos installed, basically all that we need. And as soon as those are installed, we'll do a bunch of gluing and get the rudder glued in, ailerons glued in, these glued in, so just a bunch done. And yeah, so the cutters I'll do tomorrow of these, because that's fairly loud. And yeah, so let's get going. So guys, my phone had to charge, that's why no time lapse right now, but next one will be time lapsed. So I got everything done up. So you can see I used the tape, this stuff, because I ran out of the green tape. But I want to show you. Got this done, got everything run. I have gotten this wire, I think it's like fencing wire. I originally took this thicker one, which didn't work, and I still have some of the thinner one. Yep, I'm always looking at this and I'm so excited. Imagine the entire board looking up front like this. This looks phenomenal. This afterburner, we have to test it today already. So yeah, but anyways, everything is fitted. We're gonna first glue everything into here so that we have our spacing good. Same on the rudder, we've gotten everything fitted. I'll give you a little tip. So when doing things like this little work, when especially in tight spaces where you can't really go very deep with a file, just take 40 grit, very rough sandpaper, and just with the tip you have a lot of leverage. You can move, you can even move like this, and it does a lot more work than a file most of the time. So yeah, anyway, we're gonna get all of this glued in. Everything with 90mm epoxy, of course. These will get spotted in place. These will just be let for rest. Then we'll have to solder this together. We'll get the line run in the fuselage at least. Same for the wing. Get soldered, run forward, and then we'll get the servos installed, which all have already been installed here, of course with some CA in the hole, and then some shoe goop around here, or what I use, Uvupoa. So yeah, at the end of the day, same thing. Stoked. Let's get some epoxy running. So let's go. So guys, I used a new glue because I didn't have any 90mm epoxy a while ago. I ordered the fiberglass from Easy Composites. I ordered this glue as well. And this glue is amazing. I'm only going to use this in the future, I think. Because it's I don't know, this one is still kind of currently drying. Or like getting the first stages of drying. You can see it's like it stays on perfectly, but it's like so easy to move around. And as soon as it gets hard, I mean, this I stirred around before, but this takes a bit to dry. This is not fully dried yet, but it gets rock hard. So, I mean, this is amazing, this glue. I think it takes about an hour to dry, but this is about 30 minutes ago. And that is almost completely hard. I think it sets off fairly fast. So like in 10 minutes it sets off. So I'm gonna let all of this set off, and then we can just get done with the wings, all hinged and everything. Same with the rudder, and then we can get to doing the back end. I'm currently outside spraying this piece. At the back, the one half will get epoxied on here, so I'll have to do a bit of sanding for that. And obviously the other half will get screwed into the belly portion over there. And the one half I'm painting is the one you'll be able to see. So that still needs speckle coat, and then that's finished. So then we have that already ready for us as soon as we want to do the back end. So yeah, because the back end is kind of the first thing we have to do as soon as we got all of this done. So let's continue. So guys, we're working on the wing here, and we've gotten all our holes filled with some CA. That's currently drying out. We got our lights here all soldered to one, which is here. I marked that. And we've gotten our shrink tubing on our connector. Obviously, this is a lot easier now, since we already have all the wiring in here, and for most of the stuff already connectors done. So this goes a lot quicker now than the first time when I did it. So yeah, so I'm gonna do this. Other wing is already complete. I'll show you that real quick. Here you can see other wing's complete. Yeah, and all looking pretty good. All here, wire is C8 there, and obviously all the same way. The glue is pretty much cured on this one. That one it's all right, and obviously Loctited everything nicely. We wanted to do a carbon sleeve, but I did not have quite the correct size, and I didn't just want to shove a bunch of epoxy in there and fill it with epoxy. It's not the correct size, so I said I'll leave it, and it's not loud because I'm not trembling. So yeah, same to do with this and the rudder. Let's get going. So guys, I mean, I finished all the surfaces, but I mean, I'd love to continue, but I can't because I have to start sanding now to make space for the wiring here and make this a bit more flush and just a little things, and that's way too loud for now. But one thing I want to show you guys is this afterburner light. I'm just thinking how to show you this the smartest way possible. So I just have here, you plug this into a 3-cell, and now it came out perfect. Sorry that you're getting a shot of my hand, but just so, yeah, professional configuration, of course. And 3-cell, and this is absolutely insane. So this is our only orange light, and the blue one would be the booster for like the purple light. This is insane. This is insane. Wait, let me get the housing. So guys, this is with the housing, and I mean right now it doesn't. This is amazing. Imagine like standing back here and like this just slowly coming on. Wow, that reflection from the sides also like was nothing, but the reflection through here is so amazing. Look at that. So I think that's going to be really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep now. And yeah, I don't think I'll finish this tomorrow. But that means I have to do a flight on Thursday with this thing, and then after that flight, drive to Tom. So, yep, fun plan. But yeah, next thing you'll probably see is this thing on here. So let's get going again. So guys, got the carbon boards laminated, and yeah, gonna trim them tomorrow, and then have some carbon boards to install. So yeah, I really love this mattish finish it's going to give at the end if you only do the perfect drain, because like this is a perfect drain. What I'm doing, it's basically where the carbon is the strongest, but there's not excessive amount of epoxy or too much weight added. Anything above this is just useless weight added basically to the carbon. So, and anything below it is not enough epoxy. But yep, I mean, I could in future try a board with fully glossy. There would be some sanding involved though. Don't know if I'd be looking forward to that. But yeah, I will go to sleep now. So let's get this half installed on here. So guys, vector thrusting setup is ready to install. It's next day. It's slowly getting dark already. We picked up a few things, some 90mm epoxy. Finally got that again. Yeah, and so obviously lights are all on, everything. So I drilled a hole back there to receive that. And yeah, okay, this didn't work out as well as I thought. But yeah, that I made a groove and I wanted to use shoe groove. But I guess I was too impatient. Anyway, I'm gonna get a bunch of epoxy mixed up, get that smeared on here, then put it on, get this thing spot glued with some CA, and then we're gonna take even more epoxy and nicely tool everything with the epoxy. So let's get going. So guys, we got everything glued. Obviously we used the 90mm epoxy. I used a new additive to add, which is basically like almost like a small carbon stuff. Basically it's here, and it's this is what the epoxy looks like afterwards. That's currently curing. I didn't have enough epoxy on these, the rudder and on one of the wings, so the hinges weren't strong, because I always pull on them properly, check if they're in. And then I did a bit of wiring, as you can see down here. Took myself a bit of time. I'm going to go ahead do this up in here on the zip tie, not the wires. And then we've gotten all that coming out here. And before I'm going to get these servos installed, I want to get the stuff here installed, because it's a lot easier like that. Because like this, it's way easier to get the wires through, get the pump installed. Otherwise, after all the servos are in, it's just terrible getting those wires in. So yeah, I mean, I guess as soon as we've gotten all that halfway done, we can also get started with what can we get started with? I mean, I guess I'll probably, what I'll be doing, I don't know if I'm going to be doing this or what I'm going to be doing this way, but these cables go up here and then through that hole right there, basically, where they meet up with the wires from the gear, and from there on they're gonna go forward in here and in somewhere here. So yeah, so I'll put that in a piece of snakeskin there to tidy everything up, and yeah, hopefully we are going to be good with that. So let's continue. Bunch of wiring to do. I think next step will be probably thrust pipe in, servos in, and all possible, because I already posted a video on the back section. So let's go. So guys, I have a bit of extra time since we're going to do the maiden on Thursday. Probably won't be in school on Thursday, just to save a bit of time. And then yeah, Thursday we can have a relaxing day, so the entire Tuesday, which is tomorrow, I can still work on this thing, and also Thursday in the morning. Yeah, just currently trying to get everything done as beautiful as possible. So I put this front end in first, so because otherwise the servos be annoying to get all the wires underneath the the board. We've gotten everything down out here. We've gotten all our turbine wires all done. Our ECUs down there, velcroed in place. A bit of shoe group on the corners so it can't move around, and that's all looking good. Here's our extension. So this is some new wire I'm testing. This is still a bit thick, so originally I wanted to buy a thinner one, which was like the same. So if the white stripe, it was a red stripe, and it was a bit thinner. Oh, could that would have been the right amount of thinness, or the perfect amount, the other one. But yeah, I don't know where the power box switches, but I mean, everything that's powered with 3-cell, this here is good, this wire. But everything that's powered with the 2-cell, this is a bit of overkill still. Oops. Here it is, the power box. I mean, because at the end of the day, you don't need any more than this for the power box. So the other one, obviously, these are the 2 wires next to each other here. And there was something quite a bit thicker than this, but that would have been perfect. I mean, this stuff is a lot better than this what we've been using, because like as you can see, yeah. So obviously this is a much better. No idea what my soldering was here, but got some good soldering done here. And yeah, look, a bit longer, so we have nice X's. But honestly, this is way better than this. And this, the other one is nice, tough wire, proper quality. And yeah, what did I also still want to say? Yeah, I think this is about probably gonna be here and there about it. So yeah, I guess we'll have to get the servos installed for the Vector, then we'll get the thrust pipe installed, and then we have to move on to getting our Unilight connectors installed somewhere here, get the gear installed, and get all those wires through this hole so we can make a plan how to run all the mess forward. So yep, let's get the vectoring stuff finalized, and then we can work on the other crap. So let's get going. This backend is all installed. Basically, servos are done, everything locked, headed of course. Thrust vectoring is working again. Of course, looking good. Almost no play in the system, which is very important. And then we've gotten thrust pipe installed like before, screwed in with the 2 screws here. Yeah, everything really done like before. These got the drop of C on the end so they can't get loose, because Loctite doesn't work in the heat. Yeah, next up to do is the landing gear, and then we have to do the plugs. So landing gear hopefully is fairly simple, because obviously we have to make up some wires for the landing gear, but other than a bit of crimping, that should be fairly simple, because I think we might just come like straight through here for those wires, or go through here, depending what we want. It really depends what we want to do. So I think we're gonna come up front here, honestly, because what is it called? Because let me think, because the zip tie for the tank has to go through here. So that's the one reason I wanna get that done the way I wanna get that done. So landing gear fairly simple. Painted. So gotten the mains here. So we'll have to cut the wire. We have to keep these. We need these for a JP controller. cut the wire, like maybe about here, and then have connectors coming to the gear, because we'll have to take the gear out for the box to get this thing to Dubai, and just in general for servicing, to get the wheel cleaned a little. We have to get this glued on top here like it was supposed to be. For that we have to get that sanded, and we also have to get installed our tiny whiny cute 10mm LEDs. So these are quite cute right there. But yeah, didn't want to go too big with those, because obviously we'll have to do a bit of sanding, and I'll get them installed right there like we always do with all our lights. I always do them underneath this dog bone. No, that's not the dog bone thing. Underneath the spring or whatever, your oleo strut, whatever it is. But underneath that we'll get the light nicely glued on there. So get that spotted with CA, then some epoxy around that to make sure it holds properly. But yeah, looking good, everything looking good. Quite happy. So let's get landing gear installed. Let's go. This is what everything looks like. So this is with the light. One landing gear is installed already, obviously CA and everything. So we've gotten the wires here. We've obviously gotten for our brake, our gear, and our light. So this is what this looks like. I don't know how to go past here. In the plane, obviously, so we can disconnect it. So right here, there's a clip, and which is secured with some CA. Yeah, that's basically that. Not a lot more about that, but yeah, honestly, not a lot more to say. That's that basically, and yeah, that's that. I'm gonna get this gear hooked up, get a shrink tubing over it and everything, so you can see what it looks like. So you can see what that looks like, and then we'll get the gear installed. And the brake wire, if you're interested, just literally down there. It kind of tucks in back as soon as retracting. So, yep, let's continue. So guys, all the soldering is done, both sides. So before, obviously I'll have to, for the side in the wing, we'll have to glue in some wood. Where this gets screwed in, before getting screwed in, we'll put some shoe goop over this, so this is all protected here. And yeah, I think good. This is obviously the light, not the aileron. This is the aileron, and then we've gotten our night lights and our front landing light. So what we're going to do in here then afterwards, which I didn't think about before, but we're going to pair up our landing lights in here before we get everything in snakeskin. We'll make sure everything's paired up in here, that we are able to pair up. So that's something I want to do. And the same is for, since this is the night light, this will be running on this side right here. I don't even know. No, I think it will be running on the other side. So we'll get our night light paired up. We'll get that paired up and stuff like that. These are our afterburners. We can't pair those up because the blue is the boost and this is the normal one, because there are the two control settings on the controller. Yeah, let's get these mounted. As soon as these are mounted, honestly, yeah, we have to solder together a few things in there, and then we can finally get everything into snakeskin. I still have to get these on. The connectors, I already made those up right here. have to get that up, bundled up. Get this bundled up, tucked under the board nicely. So yeah, let's get this back end done. Let's go. So guys, wings are on, landing gear. I just made sure I got that out, and if you can see, wait 1 second, let me just try it from behind. Okay, you really can't see a lot there, but yeah, that's it from behind. But anyway, I don't think I can get this off with one hand. Maybe I can. Just this is a little bit of wiggle action. Getting these wings off. Just bear with me, but you can see kind of already the connector over there. Got the wing up. Okay, so here you can see connectors in, but there's the same wood out of what the entire plane is. It's totally soaked in CA, so it's nice. Yeah, just those 2 pieces of wood, 2 screws, and here gotten basically the same. If you look exactly, we've got like corner stock glued into the corners where this is screwed in, and that really is that. Nothing too overcomplicated. Obviously you could do that a lot nicer, like 3D printed parts and stuff, but honestly we really do not have the time for that. So yeah, next thing to do, next clip you'll see is gonna be all this wiring, which will get cleaned up now up front. So yep, that's the goal at least. So why is this camera not focusing? Let's get going. So guys, I just weighed everything to see how heavy it is. So the fuselage right now is 4.3 kilos. Each wing is 600, one is 615, and the other one was 623. So honestly, they're pretty similar. And the turbine is 1.3 kilos, as you can see right there. So quite a bit of a heavy turbine. So, yep. Yeah, I mean, there's really, next to the turbine, is about, yeah, I think, yeah, like 8 kilos. Well, empty is about a good assumption, and we're like probably 10.5 fully fueled, something like that. Now if we use kerosene, little under, so we're probably 10 kilos fully fueled, which honestly it's not that light. It's not very light at all. But yeah, we did make this thing quite heavy with the carbon and little other things experimenting around. So yeah, I think we could easily save maybe even 2 kilograms. Yeah, if we take a light, if we put like a jet kit P130 in here, I think we can get this thing fully fueled at like maybe 9 kilograms. This thing completely fueled, maybe even less. And that would be amazing because you'd have a lighter airplane. But yeah, let's continue. So guys, just kind of checking with tank mode. We've gotten our snake skin on, as you can see right there. Right here, snake skin going forward. Let me just flip this around one more time, because we have to work the one that we're last thing on the underside before that's almost finished. Which is installing one of our lights, which is this one on the underside. So we still have to get that done. As soon as we've gotten that installed, we are gonna get started with our lovely carbon boards here, cutting out all of the stuff we have to get cut out, getting all of our screw holes drilled, etc. So yeah, let's get back to work. So guys, quick shot from the underside. Here's everything, all of the wiring nicely clipped in place. Obviously this part is a little messy, but whatever. And then we've gotten this part, we've gotten, I mean, on this side I couldn't make it very tight because obviously we've got the fuel hose, oh sorry, I'm not on anything, fuel hose going through, and yeah, I think, yeah, everything's looking pretty good everywhere, so yeah, we'll get the light installed. I think I'll get it installed like right here, so that it's yeah, so I've fairly good accessibility from there. So let's get that done now. So guys, this essentially is our front carbon board, JP controller, Cortex, Futaba, and the two light controllers. Very simple and functional. And this entire thing will be lying somewhat in there, like that. And then we'll have our battery tray right here. Which will be still kind of, obviously we'll go farther forward, I still have to do the cutouts, but that will be sitting somewhat like that up front there. So I think that's gonna look good. So yeah, before we get the front one installed, or even working on that, I guess, I want to basically, I mean, the front one is just like small stuff that needs to be done, and the back one is really the main stuff that has to be done. So I guess this back one is quite a bit more important than the front one. So yeah, next step to do is, so that we can get to everything here, is to get quite a bit of this stuff here all cut out. So we'll do that next, and we'll basically just because we've gotten our centerpiece, so we'll basically just have our center stuff, and that's basically it. So let's continue. So guys, midsection is all removed, so this stuff is no structural really. This is only to support this tray, which usually has the batteries on it, which we can take out because we aren't using any batteries. And this bottom part is even strong because we have fiberglass on it. The real structure you don't want to destroy is this rib here, going from up front here all the way down here. That's the main structure holding this front section properly to the back section of the plane. So that's a structure you do not want to destroy, and it helps if you have this rib next to there as well, but you cannot fold this together or anything, and we're going to screw in the carbon board, the thick one, so no issues there. I think honestly, next few things are going to be like the final wiring step already. I can't believe that we're honestly this far already. So there are like one or two last things to do for Dremling. So before it gets really too late, my mother totally freaks out, we'll get those done. So I guess we've a bit more Dremling to do. We have to cut out whatever slot, this thing, this slot, and then we have to go ahead here for the power box switch, get something cut, and we have to get slots for the batteries cut, because not slots for batteries but for the Velcro, because imagine this is gonna go. So I already checked, had it in and checked if the canopy closes, and we're all good with that. I'm just trying to look where the other battery is currently. Under here. So these two batteries will get paired up nicely, So we'll have those sitting essentially somewhat like this probably, and then if I can do this, we'll have like, okay, whatever, the connectors like behind the battery, somewhat like that, somewhere here. And currently I'm just seeing myself out where this will come out. So I think since we've gotten the only light for the afterburners, which is 3-cell, connecting here, so I'm currently seeing or looking if we have to make this longer or not. So I'll do a bit of fitting, some sanding, stuff like that, and especially getting this system that I want to have done, where we go ahead and make sure that this somewhat slides in like that. And then obviously there will be screws, like one here up front, because the back doesn't really matter, but around the cortex it's really necessary. And also put next to double-sided tape a little bit of true hoop, just to make sure. I mean, the receiver, you can wiggle it a bit, and this one I had a more double-sided tape. You almost couldn't wiggle it at all. You really had to give good pressure, but yeah, it's just extra safety. With that shoe, it really won't even move a bit unless the entire board rips out. So I don't know if I'm going to paint this the darker color. I might, because I'm going to do a quick break, but I honestly don't want to do a break because I want to sleep a little at least, because I want to go flying, and there's quite a bit on the schedule, including driving to Tom tomorrow. But that's what that's looking like currently, as you guys can see. And I'll have to get it marked out like right here, so at the edge here, that's where that board starts. So I think I'll get that cut and everything, and then we will see if we're going to repaint it. So let's get going. And I think I'll do some time lapse now, because before I just had to charge my phone, and yesterday I didn't feel like it. So let's get going. So guys, want to interview real quick here. So got the tank mount glued in, which is all epoxied in nicely, so it's spot glued with CA, and then I mix up some epoxy with micro balloons to make it thicker, and some carbon micro balloon stuff, whatever, just to make it black. And the connectors, so this is a slot for a switch. Connectors are in as well. I think one of them is a bit crooked, but honestly, therefore I did this in like a minute without a lot of sanding. It's fine, and it just looks crooked because the board isn't perfectly symmetrical. I think this side here is a bit wider than this side, but that it looks symmetrical as soon as the plane. But obviously got nice epoxy fillet around that as well. And see, looks a billion times better already in the plane. So yeah, obviously carbon is currently dirty because of the dust, but that's looking good. And as soon as the batteries are on there, it will look even better. So yeah, next thing I think I'll be worrying about while all of this stuff is drying, and this is also spotted with CA, so it won't go anywhere. What I'll worry about for now, to let this at least like cure a little tiny bit, is getting the front landing gear installed. And I mean, the plan was to get a new door done up with Tom, but maybe I'll build one, because otherwise I just have to like glue a piece of balsa from here to here. That as soon as this activates, otherwise during flight this would get stuck with each other. And yeah, I don't know why I cut this off now, because that would be a pain in the ass to get that re-linkaged, or whatever you want to call this. So I think I'll wrap up the front end now. Kind of, so I have everything done. For the nose gear I have to clean that a little, and I have to swap out the motor. I think the motor is fried, but I'll double check it. And I have to fix the light right here and do a bit of cleaning. So let's get going. So guys, nose gear is in. Gotten all our things hooked up. Basically, just took some old ones with connectors on already. Let's see here, we've gotten the light and the gear itself, so we can disconnect that. Then our servo right there. Obviously this is going to be covered by the plate. Our light's looking good again. The gear itself is okay, clean. So yeah, looking pretty good. I put some keepers in the middle, and we're now gonna start from the back and slowly work ourselves forward with everything. So we'll probably start off with lights, because that's a bit of soldering still to do. And after that's done, I think we're done with all the soldering except for a few connector things. So yeah. I guess let's continue the wiring. Oh, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. Okay. I think we might have overdone it a bit with how much stuff there's in this plane. Or how many lights I put in this thing. Oh, because I just spent 2 hours getting this done. So basically, I've gotten everything soldered up, or at least like the fundamental stuff. So next step will be to get all of these nice wires crimped. We at least got these back wires crimped for go in there. And if I'm not completely stupid, I might have forgotten a cable if I'm looking at this right. Yep, okay, I have to open that zip tie again. But anyway, that's the door, if you're wondering. But yeah, everything else is soldered, so this is the only light with no connect yet, which is the night lights. And these just go onto directly to a power supply. I don't know where I'll solder it to yet, but I'll just wait for that a bit. But we've gotten our 2 afterburners, our 2 of the 2 pieces of tape there, and then we've gotten everything else. All the amazing other mess. This is insanity. Insanity. What am I doing? What am I doing? Anyway, I'll get all of these crimped now. All the ones that have to be crimped. Then we can get fixated here to the main one, and then we can do the final like power wire stuff, and get one last fuel tubing has to get run like somewhere here for the fill port that will be up here, and like little stuff like that. So I think next time when I'll show you something will be ready, almost ready to get the main board installed. So let's get going. Guys, I think we're ready to get the main board down. I honestly don't know what happened since the last clip. I mean, we've gotten this board basically finished up. We've gotten our Festo in. For here we've gotten multiple connectors done up. So we've gotten this one connector, which is a Y cable, so I just wired off like right at the crimp, as you can see there. There are always 2 cables going into the crimp. That's the very bottom wire there, which is in one of the like energy supply ports to supply energy to the brake and the landing gear and the gear door, the front one, and then for the one Unilight controller, and the other Unilight controller for the afterburner right here is hooked in with the 3-cell cable going right here. Don't worry about this can't contact anymore, but I think I'll just put something around that still. But yeah, that's all looking pretty good. Got our second tube here run. These are the only ones I gotta protect a little more still, and the rest, yeah, next thing I think I'm gonna do is we'll slowly try getting this board down, and while getting it down we have to obviously get all of our other wires through and get these kind of zip tied and down properly. So let's get this probably finalized. Let's go. You do not know how glad I am. Everything works except for this one brake, but that brake has always already been like, I don't know, it never really wanted to work properly, so I think it might just be broken, the brake itself, because the wiring is all different from what was in before. But yeah, everything works. Very happy, especially the lights, because obviously it's only light design. We want to make good advertisement. But yeah, everything works, and next thing to do is we have to get our Cortex set up. So what I've achieved now is basically every main connector that goes into the receiver is in there. The only other main connectors are the what is it? Because we are using the cabled tree for the Cortex, which would be smart if I'd put that somewhere where I'd find it easily. But anyway, there are like 2 main wires, which is the first 2 channels, and then the rest is all signal wires. So honestly, my idea was to make that a little prettier, but I don't think that's happening anymore. With the cable tree, make that a bit pretty to install, but that's not quite possible. So, you don't know how relieved I am. Now fingers crossed, turbine starts. I mean, it should. The reason why it failed, the engine quit, is because this cable pulled out, but there is enough shoe goop on there that if I pull on it, it is not coming out. Yeah, let's get back to work. I'm stoked, and I want to get this working, engine tested, so we can go to Tom, and then we'll get a new canopy done, the back part done beautifully, and we'll get this thing ready. So let's get going. Very happy. So guys, we're at Tom's place. Gear door, new one is done. So this is just a piece of vinyl, because this piece sticks out a little, and on the wood piece that does not work very well. But like this, everything works quite well, honestly. And yeah, honestly, it just works very well, everything. So pretty happy about that. I mean, the lighting controller for some reason currently is not really wanting to work, so I guess I have to just get that dealt with separately, and but other than that, that's basically all working. So here's got my shots of it retracting. Obviously no perfect fit or anything, but it will do. This does not have to be a perfect fit. Here you can see where this piece is protruding a little. But yeah, gear door is on, and we'll get the sticker on, last piece, and then we're good to go on that. And we can get the tank installed. After tank is done, we can get the turbine vinyl installed. So the turbine is screwed in already. Obviously, with properly screwed in, so CA in the holes and everything. We're just going to take off the clamps for now to take it off, but other than that, everything's looking good, and we have to get the boards screwed in. As soon as those are screwed in, we can get started with the programming here and there. Because I have to do quite a bit of programming still, also with the afterburner light. I have to change the power box switch, because I was wondering, like, why is this thing getting this hot? Like, what's wrong with this? And the thing is, I'm running everything through the receiver. Receiver is HV power, and everything is distributing over that, and this is literally just power supply. So what's this guy's telling every servo is HV, and this thing is not put on HV, so that's why this thing gets hot. So yeah, we'll get that done. We'll look at the lighting controller, and then very important, Oli told me, is the afterburner, to get that properly done, because currently it flickers when you go to throttle up. I know no 3 is connected right now, that's why it doesn't work. But yeah, let's get the rest of the boards properly installed and so I think I'll do the programming before getting those installed properly. So we'll just get tanks and stuff installed now, then we can get to some programming. So let's go. So guys, that's all done. Just put the tape line down on the straight angles for a reference line. Yeah, all done. Let's move on to the turbine. So guys, we now kind of got everything finished roughly. So tank is installed obviously in the back here. We've gotten our shield on, so you can't really see the turbine anymore. But it's all installed just the way it was before, just with the tank installed now. We've gotten the back piece right here done up with the thrust vectoring. Yeah, and we've gotten the lights test fitted, so that's good as well. We went ahead, the main board is screwed in, so 2 screws up front here, and then those 4 back there where the cortex is, so that's nice and stable, and that is fully in. And then we've got some flush mounted screws up here. Still need some Velcro up here for the batteries, but other than that, we're honestly looking good. So yeah, let's get the lights turned off in here, and then we'll look at what this looks like with all the lights on. Yeah, let's get to it. So guys, just so you know, it's fully dark. There's Tom. So it's fully dark in here, and yeah, I think night flying will be possible with this thing. So we've gotten good amount of lights working here. Also strobe up top, strobe back, and we've gotten, oh no, wait, let me turn on the afterburner. For that I have to connect up the 3 cell battery. But this is absolutely insane, all of this. I mean, next thing will be to get the hatch done and everything. But I think we should first go ahead and, yep, get the, what is it called again? Get the afterburner lights on. So let's do that real quick. So guys, Tom is sanding the canopy, and I added some flash tape on the fuselage to make sure we have a nice release everywhere. And then we're going to use some 5-minute epoxy. Usually we use 90-minute epoxy, obviously, because we're professionals. But now we'll go ahead and use some 5-minute epoxy plus a little bit of micro balloons, and that will be more than enough. You just have to be a bit quicker working with it. Yeah, let's get to it. So guys, next day, plane is finished. Essentially, gotten everything programmed. The main lights are programmed. The afterburner is not programmed yet. It's very funny. I had to make myself up this, so I'll change it in the future. But this is just a disconnect cable for the night lights, because on the connectors, wing connectors, I had one pole too less, so I just soldered the negative of this one to the negative of the landing light. And while doing that, I forgot that the sending wire, or this kind of signal wire of the unilight, is the negative. So if these are on, and these in the night, when you're coming at yourself for landing, not very nice. But yeah, so we just got for a day flying the connector here, and yeah, just so those while day flying, you're able to turn them off, and then during night flight all the lights will be fully on the whole time. So that's the plan right now. Yeah, I'll get the plane on, show you what it looks like, and then we'll get this thing taken apart into our box. So let's get going. So guys, as you can see, plane is on. Currently we've gotten gyro mid gains. If you put it on high gains, it's just way too much. But it's on mid gains right now. I found it's so the throw is set to 70%. At mid throws it's about 70% because we maxed 140 on my radio. That always works well. So yeah, anyway, we've gotten everything in, as you guys can see. And then we've gotten normal flying like this. All the beacons are on, etc. So put on the afterburner in the back, really cool. And then you've gotten full landing mode right here. So cool. Yeah, I have to get I have to hurry up a bit. So let's get all of our stuff off, and I think we're gonna end the video here. Kind of piece also done. So yeah, I think really we're gonna end the video right there and leave it like that. So let's get going. So guys, one last shot. Canopy on, looking amazing, gorgeous. I mean, it is only tan, so in the sunlight you're gonna see through. Or if there's light coming from the back, maybe here, yeah, here you can see it because there's light going through. But yeah, with that said, I thank you guys so much for watching these videos. They're gonna come out late. You're gonna come out more frequently now because I had literally no time to edit. I edited the previous video for this thing yesterday in the night, and that's purely because I was 24/7 working with this. And usually I always edit the clips that I made on the current day in the night, but I went straight to sleep all the time because I worked pretty late to get this thing finished. But it's looking amazing now, and we're going to Dubai with it, and I'm very happy. So guys, thank you guys for watching this. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button if you aren't yet. And if you enjoy my videos, of course, if you don't have to. But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.